Hello my loves, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a quick yoga flow and meditation for times when we're feeling a lot of anxious thoughts and mind stories coming up. I know I've been feeling that a lot recently with the major shifts going on in our reality, and it's also Mental Health Awareness Month. So I thought it'd be perfect timing to make a little yoga flow to help you with those times that you're just feeling a little more anxious. And I found a lot of times just breathing, if movement can really help me bring myself back to this present moment, really reconnect myself with my internal guidance and kind of quiet those mind stories that are going on and that we all deal with. So go ahead and find yourself in the center of your mat in a comfortable seat whenever you are ready. I'm just in easy pose. Again, you can always sit on a blanket if you feel like you need that extra support. A lot of times I can help your back be straight. But we're just going to sit here with our shoulders up, back, and down. I always say lock them into place. We have that imaginary line going from our root of our spine all the way up through our spine, out through the crown of our head. And we're just going to close our eyes and take some nice deep breaths before we start this practice. Your breath does not need to match mine, but just make sure you fully inhale, hold for just a moment, and exhale. So let's go ahead and begin. Inhale, hold, exhale. Do that a few more times. Inhale, exhale. With each breath, we are allowing ourselves to be in our body. And we're just kind of blowing those thoughts away when they come up. We're not beating ourselves up when they stay around, but with each exhale, we're just kind of blowing those thoughts away. And breathing in that beautiful white light that is always surrounding us. Keep taking nice deep inhales. Hold and exhale. Last one. Beautiful. Now you can go ahead and open your eyes, and we're going to start by raising our right arm up in the air, reaching over, placing it on the left side of our head, and just gently bringing our head to the right side. Feeling that tension leaving our neck. Still taking nice deep breaths here. You can bring it back to a more normal pace. Still having a tall posture. And then releasing. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So reaching up with our left hand, putting our palm on the right side of our head, and gently pulling our head over to the left side. Nice deep breaths here. As we just come back to ourselves and start to gently release anything that is really bothering us today. Back to center. And then let's go ahead and do some head rolls. You guys know I always like to start my practice this way. You can go to either side, it doesn't matter. But make sure you're going all the way around. And then switch to the other side. And then back to center. Let's do some shoulder rolls as well, up and back. We can hold a lot of anxiety and tension in our shoulders and neck. That's why I always start this way. Even when it's not a yoga flow centered around dealing with anxious thoughts, we usually come to the mat with some anxious thoughts. Just our humanness coming through. And then switch sides, rolling forward. Still breathing. Beautiful. Now come back then let's go ahead and inhale, reaching up towards the sky. Bring those palms together, and then bring your palms towards your chest. Let's do that again, releasing back down. Then reaching up, inhale, reach up towards the sky, making your arms nice and long. Bring those palms together, but this time we're going to lean it to the right side. Stretching out that side body. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back, and then go ahead and release down. Now go ahead and meet me in tabletop position. We're going to start with some cat-cows here. So our shoulders are over our wrists, our hips are over our knees, and we're going to inhale, tilting our tailbone up towards the sky, dropping the belly, bringing the gaze and the chest towards the sky. And exhale, tucking the tailbone in, rounding the back, chin to chest. Do that a few more times at your own pace. Inhale, looking up towards the sky, dropping the belly, tailbone up towards the sky. Exhale, tucking it all in. You want to move your breath with your movement almost like a wave, starting at your tailbone and going all the way up. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time. And exhale. Now I'm going to bring my toes together and my knees a little bit wider, palms up towards the front of my mat, slowly molting it back into a child's pose. Feeling that extension through my arms and shoulders, all the way to my lower back, and just kind of rocking in this position. You can even rest your head on your mat if you'd like to. Still taking nice deep breaths. I mentioned a white light surrounding you in our beginning meditation. If you need to, if you're feeling those anxious thoughts still, imagine a white light just gently surrounding your body. And just connect with that pure, loving energy that is always there, sometimes just gets blocked by our thoughts. And also throughout this practice, remind yourself that you are not your thoughts. Our mind just wants to protect us, but a lot of times the things that we think aren't even true, just stories we come up with. Go ahead and raise it back up into tabletop, and then drop your hips, raise your chest, your gaze towards the sky, to upward facing dog. Nice deep breath here. Feeling that elongation and stretch in our abdomen. Feeling that white light radiating from inside us and surrounding our bodies. We're going to tuck our toes under, pop in a plank for just a moment, and then push our hips up. Bring our toes in a little bit into downward facing dog, pushing those palms into the mat, keeping your spine and arms nice and straight, but you can bend your knees if you need to. I always like to alternate stretching my hamstrings here. Still breathing. Beautiful. Now on the next inhale, we're going to bring our right foot up into three-legged dog. And I'm going to twist my ankle, or I guess you could say twist it in a circle, not twist it as you're hurting it, for just a moment up in three-legged dog. And then sweeping that foot through into low lunge. So my foot is now in between my two palms, which are still on the mat, in low lunge. And then I'm going to gently drop that back knee and bring it up into crescent lunge. Leaning into that hip stretch. Go ahead and take a bind behind our back. This always feels so good when I'm stressed out or feeling anxious. Really opens my chest, opens my heart space, which can help with anxiety while also stretching out my back and my neck. Go ahead and lean it forward into a humble warrior. Bringing those arms up over the top of your back. And then let's gently release your hands back down on the mat. And we're going to actually raise our right hand into a little side twist here. So we're still in that low lunge, but you've got your right arm towards the sky. Stack your shoulders, gaze up towards your right hand. Leaning into that hip stretch. Bring the arm back down. Bring your chest up one more time. And now we're going to do a half split stretch. So come up to just kind of like kneeling on your knee for just a moment. Then we're going to extend that right leg and bring your chest towards our knee. You can place your hands on either side, getting a nice stretch in the hamstring here. Breathing into this moment. Starting to feel that energy that builds up when we get anxious thoughts just start to move through our body. A lot of times it just needs to move. It's energy that's stagnant, and stretching and moving like this can be so beneficial. All right, bring your chest back up, back into lunge for just a moment. And we're going to release our hands back down, bring our right foot back to meet our left foot into plank, and then meet me in downward facing dog. We'll do the same thing on the other side, but let's do some calf stretches really quickly. Walk the dog, pushing those palms into the mat. Always feels good to come back to down dog. Then we're going to inhale, lift the left foot up, make some quick ankle circles really quick, and then sweep that left foot through into low lunge. Left foot is in between your two palms, which are still on the mat. And if you need to assist your leg up here, no judgment from any minds. Just get your leg up here any way that you need to. Then we're going to slowly lower that back leg into crescent lunge. Bring your knees or your hands to your left knee. Finding our balance here. And let's go ahead and do the bind on this side as well. Feels so good to open the chest. Receive that love and connection to all that is, to your body. The love that is always coming towards us. Again, it just gets blocked by our mind stories, and that's totally okay. Leaning it forward into humble warrior. Still leaning into that hip stretch, but now our bind is up behind our back as high as we can get it. Releasing our hands down, coming back up into just kind of like on one knee pose. This probably has a name. I'm not giving it a fancy name today. Then extending that left leg into a little half split stretch. My calves can get really tight as well as my hamstrings, so this stretch always feels so good. Just trying to bring your chest towards that leg. Breathing as always. And go ahead and lift it back up. Find your balance if you need to. Lean into that low lunge. Hands back down. And then bring your foot back into plank. Beautiful. Let's meet in down dog one more time. Pushing our palms into the ground. Alternating our legs to get that calf stretch again. Nice deep breath here. Then we're going to go ahead and walk our feet to the front of our mat into a forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, hands on your hips. Exhale back down. Inhale, let's go ahead and reach all the way up with our arms and our gaze. And then exhale, put your hands on your hips. Now, I'm still feeling a little bit of tension in my quads and my ankles, so let's go ahead and do a half staff pose here, bringing our right knee in line with our right hip. Let's do some ankle circles again. My bones are always popping when I do this. Maybe you can hear that through the mic. Making sure you're keeping that knee in line with your hip. And then while it's up here, we're going to actually bring the right foot behind us and do a nice little quadricep stretch here. So bringing that right ankle as close to our body as we can, pushing the hips forward. You can even extend your left arm in front of you if you need that for balance. Finding a spot, finding the balance. Inhale, let's bring the knee forward again. Hug it in one more time. And then release back down. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Shake it out if you need to. Hands on hips. Bring the left knee in line with the right, or the left hip. And doing some ankle circles, stretching out those ankles. Our ankles do a lot of work holding up our body. And surprisingly, can hold a lot of that tension, a lot of that anxiety that we feel sometimes. Bringing the left foot back into a nice quadricep stretch, pushing the hips forward, finding our balance, finding our breath. If you're feeling thoughts come up again, focus on where you're feeling the stretch in your body. That can be a really beautiful thing for your mind to do. Sometimes your mind just needs a job. So give it the job of focusing on where it's feeling the stretch. And then go ahead and sweep your knee forward into a nice knee hug. And then release it back down. Beautiful. Inhale, gaze and arms up towards the sky. Exhale in the forward fold. Step it back into plank, down into tabletop, and then go ahead and meet me on your back as we round out today's practice. Let's go ahead and find ourselves with our feet flat, our palms flat, and push it up into a nice bridge pose. I'm going to bind my hands behind my back, pushing my hips up as high as I can. Shoulders are pressed into the mat along with the shoulder blades. Coming back to our breath, coming back to where we're feeling that stretch anytime we feel those thoughts continue to come up. Then release down. I'm going to go ahead and extend my right foot up, keeping my foot flexed. And then I'm going to actually bring my right ankle over my left knee into a little figure four stretch here. You can leave it here, or if you want a little bit more, you can put your hands behind your left thigh, kind of pulling your thigh towards you while also pushing your right knee towards the bottom of your mat. Really feeling the stretch in your glutes. Stay here for just a breath. And then go ahead and release down, stepping that foot back up. Back down into our starting position. Do the same thing on the other side. Bringing the left foot up towards the sky, flexing the foot. Then bringing the left ankle over the right knee. Doing a laying figure four. You can stay in that position or put your hands behind your right thigh, hugging that thigh in towards your body while also pushing your left knee towards the bottom of your mat. Shoulders, blades are still on the mat. Here for one more breath. And then release down. Beautiful. Now to end this practice, let's do one more stretching pose because that is so useful when letting things go, especially anxious thoughts. So I'm going to actually have my hands in cactus pose, which I need to give myself a little bit more room here. And I'm going to keep my knees up like this. Gently lean my knees to the left and my gaze to the right. And if you want a little bit more stretch here, you can even extend your leg out to that side if you want a little bit more stretch. I'm going to leave it right here for now. But my knees and my gaze are on opposite sides. So opening my heart. Receiving that divine connection from our internal guidance. That's always there even when we have those anxious thoughts. And then switching it to the other side. Imagine it, this twist is like you're wringing yourself out like a sponge, releasing all the anxious thoughts that no longer serve you. And also being compassionate with yourself and loving when they come up. Because we're all human, we all have those mind stories that come up from time to time. But they don't define us and they don't determine who we are. One more deep breath here in this twist. And then bring it back to center and we'll end with Savasana. Just find a comfortable position with your arms and legs straight, gently laying next to you. And for these last few moments, we're just going to continue to take nice deep breaths, feeling that beautiful energy that we've cultivated from within ourselves running through our body. Feeling that love from the universe, from our internal guidance, feeling that white light that always surrounds us, and exhaling anytime those thoughts come up that are no longer serving us. Now, when you're ready, you can join me in the center of your mat, or you can stay in Savasana for a little bit longer if you need to. That felt so good, and my body is so grateful, as well as my mind, for taking some time for myself. You can come back to this practice whenever you need to. Know that you are not your thoughts. You are not those anxious thoughts that keep invading your mind that we all have. You are a beautiful soul, and you are the connection to your internal guidance. And so much beauty in just taking some time for yourself. So thank you so much for joining me. Bring your hands to your heart when you're ready. I'll see you in the next yoga flow. Namaste.